This is not a political post. But you know how people are always saying if you don't like it, then you can leave? Well, people are. And in rapidly increasing numbers. As you can see, this article reports that there's been a 102% increase in people who have elected for the expat lifestyle, meaning people who are leaving America to go reside in different countries.
I don't know why no one's talking about this, but there is a mass exodus of U.S. citizens from the United States.
If you're in the States right now and you don't like the way things are going down there, help yourself to come up here to Canada, and you can live up here. Got the healthcare, we got nice people.
I am one of the many Americans who have left the United States in the last couple of years. After living in New York for 9 years, my nervous system was a bit shot, and honestly, London has healed all of that for me.
America failed. Not just me, everybody. And I know that line pisses people off, but look around. You've got people working 2 jobs just to exist, eating garbage food they can barely afford, praying that they don't get sick because a hospital visit costs a month's rent. And that's not freedom. That's survival on life support. I'm half Filipino, 56, a single mom, and I left because I couldn't keep pretending that the struggle was patriotic. In the Philippines, I spend a fraction of what I did back home. Not because it's cheap, because it's real. A full meal here costs what coffee costs there. I can pay someone a fair wage to help clean, get my kid to school, eat actual food, and still breathe. But don't misunderstand me. You can't pack your bags and come here with nothing. You need outside income, remote work, pension, something steady. $1,000 a month can rebuild your life here if you live with respect. Inflation in the States isn't some accident. It's a business model. They sell you the dream and invoice you for the nightmare.
So Americans, rich and poor, are packing their bags and leaving the United States of America. From the first 6 months of this year compared to the first 6 months of last year, Americans moving to other countries has increased by 90%. That's right, 90%. And so that's almost double where it was last year. And people are seeing the craziness and the chaos and the instability and the violence, and they're just leaving. They're just leaving.
One thing I'll never understand about the country of Europe is how there's so many unemployed people. Like, what do you mean it's the weekend and you're just sitting here not working, not sending emails, not putting some work in? Like, I'm confused because I'm sitting here and all I can think about is work, but everybody else, they look so like happy and peaceful. I don't know, maybe America is just like different, but yeah, this place is not real.
I'm an American living in Germany, and I made a crazy discovery today. Maybe it's not a discovery, more like a realization. I was chatting with a friend. We're talking about people that watch the news. I have stopped watching the news since moving overseas, and honestly, I don't really have much of a clue of what's going on back home in the US. I actually think that has helped my anxiety because I'm not spending every day worrying about the what ifs. I'm not spending every day wondering about crime or death tolls. It's just so interesting to think about. Like, I moved from an East Coast city, would say probably wasn't the best city, but I lived there my entire life. Like, hearing about murders and crime and people getting shot and, you know, this, that, and the other was a pretty regular thing. And now that I'm removed from it, it's kind of weird. I don't ever get news on that. And it's not to say that there's not crime or bad things that happen in Germany, or obviously like crime happens anywhere, but I am not consumed by negative news. I do think it's overall safer where we live now, but I'm not consumed by like the constant news updates or even watching the news at all. I've had a total shift in the anxiety that I feel. It's pretty much...
Hello guys, and welcome to the Joy Reports, where we get an outsider's view, then insider's clarity. Most Americans don't realize how limited their lifestyle has become until they see how people live in other parts of the world. More and more Americans are discovering that the comfort they grew up with in the United States no longer matches the reality of rising costs, constant pressure, and a work culture that never slows down. Across the world, from Europe to Southeast Asia, and increasingly across Africa, Americans are choosing to build new lives abroad, and almost all of them say the same thing. They regret not doing it sooner. Before we proceed, all credit goes to the creators of these videos. You will find all their ads in my description box. Also guys, you can support me by watching this video till the end and skipping no parts. But for now, let me play you a few more clips and I'll be back with more commentary.
The amount of people just leaving the United States is absolutely insane. I could sit here and read you all the numbers about how 4 in 10 US adults are planning to relocate, how more people than ever are emigrating from the United States, and how for the first time in over 50 years, there's going to be a net outflow of immigrants rather than an inflow. It is just astounding. But the amount of immigration lawyers and relocation experts and foreign governments who are just swamped with Americans because there are so many people moving that I don't even think the true number is really documented. And it is just going to show that there is a movement happening, and it's out of the United States. And whether that's political, economical, or something else, like just looking for a better quality of life, a better pace of life, better work-life balance, there is something happening. And I think a lot of people realize the sinking ship that we are on, and they are getting off. I'm not trying to cause a panic or anything like that, but I think people realize the way things are going here, how it's not improving, how it's not going to get better anytime soon, and they are taking the nuclear option of taking their American dream somewhere else. Because the American dream now is to leave. Just look at the number of Americans who live in Mexico, Spain, Portugal, France, etc. It is growing and growing and growing. And I think this is going to have ramifications from foreign governments locking down immigration in the future. Anti-American sentiment is on the rise, unfortunately. And who knows, maybe the government here increasing taxes on expats. I know they were supposed to get rid of the taxes on expats, and instead of doing that, they actually increased the fee of money leaving the United States. So, our government doesn't really like us leaving the country anyway, because it really is the biggest form of protest. You're taking your dollars and you are moving to another place and saying, I am removing myself from this American system.
The reason is simple. Life abroad for many is easier, cheaper, calmer, and more fulfilling. People are waking up to the fact that they don't have to accept stress as a normal part of life. They don't have to work 2 jobs to survive. They don't have to choose between paying rent and having a social life. They don't have to feel guilty for wanting peace. Living abroad is showing Americans that quality of life is not a luxury, it's a choice. The biggest shock for anyone who relocates is the cost of living. When Americans move abroad, especially to countries like Mexico, Portugal, Thailand, or even Kenya, the difference is unbelievable. Rent is lower, food is cheaper, transportation costs less, services like cleaning, childcare, or even healthcare suddenly becomes affordable. What felt expensive and out of reach in the US becomes normal in their new country. Take Kenya, for example. Nairobi has become one of the fastest growing destinations for expats, and many Americans are choosing it as home. The city is modern, lively, and full of opportunity, but the lifestyle costs a fraction of what it would cost in the United States. A comfortable apartment doesn't have to drain your bank account. Eating out is not reserved for special occasions. Private healthcare is high quality and affordable, and basic things like fresh food, transportation, and leisure activities no longer feel like financial decisions. For many people, Kenya offers something they didn't even know they were missing: balance. Life isn't rushed. People greet each other. Community matters. There is time to breathe, time to rest, and time to actually enjoy life instead of just surviving it. Many Americans discover this through YouTube. One of the channels that give viewers a deeper look into Kenya is The Kenyan Historian, known for sharing culture, stories, and history that make people see Kenya from a completely different perspective. Other American experts also post their experiences, showing apartment tours, grocery prices, daily routines, and honest conversations about what life abroad is really like. Their videos often go viral because viewers in the US can't believe how affordable and peaceful life looks outside America. And that disbelief is where the journey usually begins. People start comparing their lives back home to what they're seeing online. They see experts living comfortably abroad for half, or even a third, of what they spend in the US. They see people working remotely, building businesses, or even retiring early. They see young families raising their kids in safer, calmer, more community-centered environments. And suddenly, staying in the US no longer feels like the only option.
And when my family and I made that decision to leave the USA and come here to Canada, I had these mixed feelings of like guilt, like why would you your ancestors fought for this country, and so many of your people are buried here and their blood, sweat, and tears, went into this country. But you know what, y'all? I our mental health matters. Our mental health matters, our money matters, and you can put yourself in an early grave just fighting and fighting and fighting. And when you look at, as far as the African American community and the incidences of heart disease and all of these things, a lot of this stuff is triggered by stress, lifestyle. What I found with Canada is that it's not only ranked number 5 in the world for racial equity, but the food here, you don't see the chemicals and things in the food. Like, the food tastes different. I've lost weight since I've been here, so not only my mental health is improving, but my physical health is improving. Other things that Canada has that America doesn't have is universal health care. And, in America, we had so many bills. We were paying $1,600 a month for Blue Cross Blue Shield premiums and still getting large bills when we had to have MRIs and stuff done. And so racial equity, food, and healthcare. And also I want to mention the USD goes further. So everything that I'm buying is at a discount. So absolutely, people are understanding that we really need to find another country to have that dream that we all been dreaming.
Another major reason Americans move abroad is burnout. The pressure in the US is non-stop. Bills never end, rent goes up, groceries go up, medical costs are unpredictable, and the work culture expects people to push through exhaustion. But abroad, especially in countries where the pace of life is slower, people finally realize how tired they actually were. In many countries, people eat better, sleep better, and feel better without even trying. There's less noise, less rush, and fewer daily battles. And because everything costs less, money no longer feels like a source of stress every single day. People who move abroad often say they feel like they've gotten their life back, whether they are digital nomads, retirees, remote workers, or families just looking for a healthier lifestyle. Americans abroad share one surprising truth: life becomes simpler, not boring, just better. They enjoy things they didn't have time for in the US. They take walks, they cook, they socialize, they explore, they spend time with their kids, they join communities, they learn new cultures, they actually live. And when they compare that feeling to what they had back home, the regret hits hard. Not regret about leaving, but regret that they waited so long to make the move. But moving abroad is not perfect. There are challenges. You need to learn new systems, adjust to new cultures, deal with visas, and sometimes feel out of place in the beginning. There are moments of confusion and frustration, but almost every American abroad will tell you that these challenges are temporary, while the benefits are life-changing. Many say they have more freedom abroad than they ever had in the US. More time, more money, more control over their own life choices. More peace. People also feel mentally lighter. Without the constant pressure and financial burden, they rediscover who they are. They pursue hobbies again. They build friendships again. They dream again. For the first time in years, they feel like they have space, not just in their budget, but in their mind. This is why you see more Americans living every year. They are choosing quality of life over stress. They are choosing peace over pressure. They are choosing to live, not just work. In the end, the story is always the same. Moving abroad opened their eyes. It changed their mindset. It gave them a new beginning. And if they could turn back time, they would have made the decision earlier, much earlier. So now the question isn't why Americans are leaving. The real question is why so many stayed so long in a lifestyle that made them so unhappy. What do you all think? Would you ever move abroad if it meant a better lifestyle? And if you had to choose one country to test out for a year, where would you go first? Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section. I would love to keep this discussion going. Otherwise, that's it from me. I also have another video specifically tailored for you. And if you enjoy such kind of content, please click up here and enjoy. Also, consider subscribing, liking and sharing because it helps me grow my channel and helps YouTube recommend this video to a wider audience. Lastly, kindly consider joining my channel and I would really appreciate it. But for now, thank you so much for watching, and until the next time, the Joy Report out.